So I just got home from work, and what I wanted to do was stream Digimon Survive because I want to finish the entirety of it before I put out my thoughts on the game. Spoilers, thus far, very good. But instead, someone on the internet had stupid things to say, and because YouTube's algorithm is ran on hatred and drama and outrage, um, I guess I have to do that. I have to talk about it. But it's kind of okay because I've been wanting to talk about game journalism in regards to Digimon for a while now. So this kind of works for me. I guess I could finally do that. So yeah, unsurprisingly, it's Kotaku that's the problem here. They have the review of Digimon Survive out, and it's a bad review. And it's not that necessarily. I think their tastes are off. Like, I disagree with, like, oh man, they didn't like this part, but I liked that part. It's a lot more like just logic based. Um, it, it's really stupid. We have to go into this. So starting off, Digimon, the first sentence: Digimon Survive, the newest game made in celebration of the anime's 25th anniversary, attempts to juggle both being a visual novel and a tactics role-playing game. Sort of true. It is partially a tactics role-playing game, but this game has always made it clear. They've always made it clear that this is a visual novel. This is a visual novel with some light tactics elements added on. Like, they say 70% visual novel, 20% tactical RPG, and 10% horror, which is weird because the horror is just an aesthetic. It's not really horror gameplay. There's no horror gameplay, and this is not like a Resident Evil or anything. Yeah, no, it's probably closer to like 90% survival horror, 10% tactic game, to be real. Wasting their time. I could see they didn't like it. Files a gag. Okay. So yeah, right off the bat, they have a poor idea of what the game is supposed to be. They think it's more a tactics game. It is much more a visual novel. But here's when we get into the really dumb stuff, okay? Digimon Survive, developed by Hide and Witchcraft, follow a gaggle of teenagers on a school camping trip who are unceremoniously transported to a mysterious world where fantastical anthropomorphic creatures called Digimon run amok. If you're thinking that concept sounds eerily similar to Pokemon, you'd be right. Which Pokemon does that sound like? Which Pokemon does that sound like? Which one? That doesn't sound like any Pokemon! No Pokemon sounds like that. The closest, if I'm being really generous, would be the most recent one, Legends Arceus, where a character gets isekai'd, but it's not like it's a gaggle of teenagers. It's like a small child character. It's like a Pokemon trainer, like 11 years old or whatever. And that's not eerily similar. That's an isekai. Something Digimon has been doing since 1999. Just, that and Mystery Dungeon, those are the only two, dude. And Mystery Dungeon, like, it's never, like, again, it's one person and you turn into the Pokemon. That's a giant stretch, dude. That is a giant stretch. Alright. Digimon is to Pokemon what DreamWorks Picture Animated is to Bug's Life, with the exception that most Digimon can speak. What I think they're doing here is saying that Digimon is the poor man's Pokemon. I think that's the point we're trying to make here. DreamWorks is usually seen as like the second-rate studio compared to Pixar and Disney, whatever. Amazing. Wow, comparing Digimon and Pokemon in 2022. Guys, again, this game has nothing in common with Pokemon. There's zero. There's zero things in common with this game and Pokemon. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's zero. It's amazing. Guys, remember that time Pokemon had a visual novel? Back inside her back, result in crit. Yeah. Problem is, it takes forever for characters to travel across the tiles in the game's large battle arena. Even if you speed up their animations by hitting the skip button. There's speed up options. There's actually speed up options. Like, you could make it 3 times the speed. In fact, I normally play with double because, yeah, the normal is kind of slow. It's nice for the animations. Like, if I have a new Digivolution, I like to turn it on and check out the attacks to get like the full weight and really appreciate the animations. But like, as far as the gameplay goes on its like normal speed, it's a bit slow. So I like to play double. But double and triple are right there. Very literally in the options. They're right there. Unfactual reporting, dude. Most of your movement will be spent getting within range of the enemy. I don't know if I would agree with that, but 4 or 5 times, maybe if you only use really slow Digimon. Like, maybe, and even then there's, like, ways to speed up your movement. Like, I was zooming around the board with some of the stuff I was doing. Like, I had moments where, like, my map movement was, like, the map. So, okay. Digimon survives adventure and exploration side of things. Follow a visual novel formula for waving your cursor over objects and characters in the environment to discover more things about them. This too suffers from being a needlessly arduous part of the game. A survival horror doing not survival horror. Oh my god, visual novel doing visual novel things. Oh, okay. While the game encourages exploration, going so far as to flash your words on screen whenever a movement arises, unless items or people in the environment have an exclamation point in them, you're wasting your time clicking them. Much like with James Sunderland or Heather Mason in Silent Hill series, clicking on something like an accordion or an abandoned school results in flavor text akin to a lazy caption for a newspaper photo. It tells you what you can surmise rather than providing any illuminating commentary or of substance. My guy! It's flavor text. It's literally just there for flavor. It's just there as like, just adding a little bit more description on the world, just adding a little bit more flavor. Yes, I'm surprised that the 15-year-old main character doesn't have many interesting things to say about oil barrels or whatever it is he looks at, accordions. Yeah, he's not a detective. He's not gonna be like, oh yes, I could see this accordion has accumulated dust for approximately 7 years now, so I could surmise from this that no, he's a 15-year-old. He's like, damn, that shit's dusty. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want from a 15-year-old to say. Like, okay. Like, same thing with James Sunderland. He's not a detective. Like, it's crazy to me that they brought up Silent Hill because Silent Hill does that stuff to... Oh, okay. Really does exploration reward you with items that aid you in combat scenarios. Became inundated with health items I never needed because that was a cakewalk as well. There are difficulty options, by the way. I don't know if you played on normal, but there is a very hard, and it ups the difficulty. So there's that. This game can be hard if you wanted to. It's actually really cool in that regard. You could play this game in a lot of ways. You could add extra challenges on yourself. You could just do a self-imposed Nuzlocke because you could release recruited Digimon. And yeah, very hard. It's there. It's there. If you find it too easy, it's there. Yeah, what became grating is the Digimon's ride or die affection for human counterpart. Fella. They go through this in the story. And I don't feel bad about saying this because this isn't really like spoilers because this is just like a Digimon mechanic in general. Digimon partners are linked to their Digimon tamers, like on a spiritual level. So yeah, more often than not, they're going to really care about those guys because they're like literally like connected. That's wild. That they're literally foils for these characters. They're literally there to help them grow and mature as people. Like. And sometimes they actually do fight in the game. You didn't play all of it. There are moments where they actually do butt heads. Okay. Digimon the show forges a believable bond between pair, restoring from those said bonds leads to anthropomorphic creatures. It's weird they keep saying anthropomorphic creatures. I think he's trying to sell home the furry aspect here. I don't know. And Digimon survive. Evolution just can't happen in left field in most ham-fisted ways imaginable. No. It's the same thing. They're saying that like, oh yeah, in the show, it's a bond and in the game, the Digimon evolve, in times of crisis or emotional growth. Same as anywhere else from Digimon. Sometimes better than anywhere else in Digimon. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. You see Digimon just know everything there is to know about their partners, and you can tell them exactly what they need to hear to put their fire in their bellies and battle on. We went over this earlier. Problem is that you, a player, have been fighting around these blank characters for hours, haven't been given an iota of characterization. Dude, these characters are really well defined. I don't know what to tell you. Like, each of his characters, maybe it's their opinion that these characters are bland, but in my opinion, each of the characters is really well rounded out and have fleshed out, believable backstories and motivations. They all make sense to me. They might not just be their cup of tea. This is the point where, like, I'm like, okay, this is some opinion shit. Like, I have my taste, you have yours. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, here we go. The only problem is that you as a player has been fighting around. Yeah. While the game's camera is telling you this is an emotional breakthrough moment, it comes off as characterization that the Digimon are pulling out of their undrawn asses. I don't know if I'd agree with that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd agree with that, dude. Again, like, this is just another character moment. It's just another character moment. Sure, the characters breathe life and it was pretty subpart. It's not. They keep labeling it as a tactics RPG. It's not primarily a tactics RPG. Why would you? Oh my goodness. This is like saying that Portal is a pretty mediocre first-person shooter. Yes, it's a first-person shooter, but the puzzle aspect is kind of bigger a little bit. Okay. Bunch of downtime despite characters being unaware or being made aware that their Digimon wanting to make sacrifices out and walk. Dude, we literally have to stop and rest a lot. They have to. They literally go through this. They get tired. They have to like find shelter. They have food. But downtime is justified. My God. They don't know where they're going also. Like, this isn't an adventure. There's no like end area for them to go to. Just really poorly written journalism here. But this is what I like to call Digimon Derangement Syndrome. We got DDS, which doesn't stand for anything related to dentists or whatever, I swear. It's just where you have to talk about Pokemon every time Digimon's up. And this Kotaku article is pretty bad. However, this has always been a trend. This is what I've been wanting to talk about. Let's go to some old articles here. Let's go down to some old reviews. Let's go through Digimon World 1 through 4. Starting with Digimon World 1, a game that has nothing in common with Pokemon. Go to old IGN here, which is actually kind of fun to go through, like old magazines, like go through archives, because you see like some really weird opinions that did not age very well, and you see like a bunch of old ads, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, here we go. Worst feature, no analog control. Damn, dude, you ain't got no analog control using a D-pad? What are you, in 1996? While not the worst I've ever seen, the graphics, nothing to get excited over. Gameplay isn't as nearly deep or involving as Pokemon, and guys, this game, Digimon World, which has gameplay that is not at all like Pokemon's, zero things in common with it. It's not like Pokemon. There's no rock, paper, scissors. It's just two things that I have to watch them fight. It's Tamagotchi with battles, which, yeah, Tamagotchi with battles. That's the series. That's the franchise. You got it, Chris. Good job. I'm proud of you. What a hero. He accurately described the series. Outstanding. Okay. But yeah, down here with Greg, what did I do to deserve this? You have almost zero control over combat once it begins. Yeah, that's Tamagotchi battles. It's Digimon battles right there. It's not the gameplay you wanted, but it's its own kind of gameplay. We're complaining about things because they aren't other things. Oh, let's go to Digimon World 2 review where he's gonna complain that it's a Pokemon ripoff. Yeah, there it is. Heads up, I don't like Digimon World 2. I only, of the original 4, the only one I really like is 1. So I have no problem with these people saying that this game sucks. I'm not going to disagree. I strongly dislike 2, 3, and 4. But the way they talk about why they dislike it's the problem. After his poo-poo ugly, embarrassing, sloppy, and overall just plain boring sequel, poo-poo ugly, amazing. The only thing that keeps this rip-off franchise alive, okay, DDS. Even forgetting this Pokemon is, that Digimon is at its heart, a Pokemon rip-off, some DDS right there. Yeah. Just some DDS. Just a severe case of DDS. GameSpot for Digimon World 3. Control F for Pokemon. And there we go. We got 3 hits. Amazing. I'm awake of Pokemon craze that began a few years ago. Gotta talk about Pokemon. DDS. As Pokemon's popularity has waned, DDS. Bandai's Digimon is the most prolific of the Poke-style monster breeding franchises. Literally nothing in common. Thus far. Later games will. Digimon World 2, arguably some levels of similarity. But Digimon World 3? Nothing in common! There's nothing in common here. Abandons the monster raising trappings found in previous games in the series, instead passing itself as a pre-standard drop. Okay! That's fair. That's accurate. This is an accurate assessment here. Digimon World 3 is not a monster raising game. Not really. It's just kind of a generic JRPG. That's okay, we got a good opinion. But when we go down back to the DDS, of course, the real point of monster-based franchises like Pokemon, Digimon, Lion, and Power monsters in your possession. God damn it. Imagine if they said this about Final Fantasy. I don't know, man. Like Fire Emblem. Like Fire Emblem has, I don't know, promotions. It's the same concept as promotions. But no, it's gotta bring it back to Pokemon. Let's go to G4. Digimon World 4 review. We have 2 hits on the Pokemon tab. Again, Digimon World 4, no Pokemon game. Oh wait, I guess now there are a couple like the Digimon or Pokemon Rumble games. Those are kind of similar. They came out way after, but I guess they are also action RPGs. Here we go. Bandai's digital monsters may not fit in your pocket like Nintendo's Pokemon will, but they managed to be reasonably popular just the same. I think this is actually a pretty good review of it otherwise. But where the colorful Pokemon games, DDS, are finally polished and well-oiled machine, Digimon World 4 feels like a junker. Fair. Digimon World 4 is bad. Fight me. But, oh, dude, it's amazing. Imagine any other, like, franchise getting this treatment. Imagine every time there's a new Star Trek series being like, well, this is, not Star Wars, but we're gonna bring up Star Wars, and we're gonna compare it to Star Wars here and there every time. Despite the similarities being space and the word star. So, in game journalism, there is always this weird issue of, do we judge games as a product, as a toy? Do we talk about how fun it is or whatever? Or do we talk about its quality as art? Do we talk about themes and, I don't know, music and score and whatever else and art quality? And I think that's an interesting discussion to have. But unfortunately, we are stuck in the realms of, well, it's like this other thing, and I like this other thing. And this isn't like this thing. And I don't like that it's not like this thing. Like, you could be talking about so many more interesting things, but instead we have reviews that are akin to, well, this ice cream, it's not spaghetti. And I only want spaghetti. This is the worst spaghetti I've ever had. So, I guess in short, game reviewers get good.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty